So hi everyone, and a very, very, very warm welcome to what I've called the Recruitment and Team Building Masterclass. And we've got quite a lot to get through here. I just felt that now was a really good time to have a bit of a focused hour on a few things. So the things we're going to cover today, hopefully in about an hour, we may run over a little bit, is firstly 5 big reasons why it's now the time to take this business really seriously, to stop treating it like a hobby if you think you have, or at least to be prepared to invest in the right time, systems, procedures and everything that's needed to grow the business seriously. Hi everyone, if you're just coming in, I've only literally just got started. Annette, my lovely co-host, is letting everybody in, so thank you very much. Annette, I think Jane's in the waiting room. Can you see Jane? Is she coming in? Yeah, they're all there. Okay. So I just, for many reasons, which I'm going to go through this morning, I think now is the time to stop playing small with our business or with your business, whatever that business is, and to start treating it really seriously. So we're going to talk about 5 reasons that is really important at the moment. I'm going to talk about 5 reasons, how we can help people, and perhaps not always the obvious things that you think about. I'm going to go through 10 ideas for recruiting, building momentum in your team, getting partners off to a better start, etc. And then we're going to have a little bit of a look at what I think is the most important pillar of a successful business, and that is you. We're going to talk about why that's important and what you can do about that. And then at the very end, I am going to just spend a few minutes just sharing a little bit of information about something that I run called the Unstoppable Academy. And that will just come at the end. So firstly, why do I want to share this with you? And it's quite simple, really. This business has completely changed my life. I've managed to create the most amazing lifestyle now as a result of this business. Time freedom, amazing friends, and I'm really, really passionate about helping other people do the same. So just a bit of background. I know most of you know me, but there are some faces on here that I don't think I have met, or I haven't sort of trained or anything before. So I'm just going to give you all a very short snippet of background as to who I am, why I'm here. So Celia, as you know, Celia Gadd, live in Somerset. I'm senior group leader, 1-star in the business. But basically, I left school when I was 15 because I was absolutely passionate about horses. So I believe that we should all be able to earn money, make a living, have a business that fits our lifestyle, and also find something that we're passionate about. So I was really lucky. So for 25 years, I worked with horses. And that was my passion since I was a little girl. So I was a riding instructor, a dressage judge. I ran a magazine, completely involved in horses, which I loved. And then I was told I couldn't have children. And then when I was 39, I had my lovely daughter, Roxy. And I tried to carry on as normal. So I'm sure a lot of mums in here will probably appreciate that you sort of think, yeah, I can just keep going. I can just keep doing all of this stuff. But it became very obvious that I couldn't. And I realized what I'd been doing for the last, 25 years was simply swapping time for money. Now, as I'm talking about any of the stuff I'm discussing today, think about how you can use the stories, use the information in your conversations with other people. A lot of what I share today, I know we've got some really experienced people in this call, and I feel very honoured that you're here. So thank you for joining me, whatever level you are in the business. But it's never really about, I'll probably say stuff and you'll go, yeah, I know that. I 100% know that. I do that. But I always say, ask yourself the question, if you know it, that's fantastic. But does everybody in your team know it? Okay, because that's what it comes down to. It's not just about the knowledge that we have. It's the knowledge that we're willing to pass on. So when I say things like swapping time for money, who do you know that's still swapping time for money in your circles that you could talk to about this sort of thing? So I went, I was working 12, 15 hours a day. I was now a mum. I was exhausted. And I really realized that something had to change. 41 years old. I was not prepared to carry on working like that for the rest of my life. To be honest, I was feeling a bit desperate because I didn't know what there was out there. I didn't know that there was a solution, really. Although saying that, I am a great manifester and believer in the universe, which I'll mention a bit later as well. And I literally did put my head in my hands one day and say, please, universe, there has to be an easier way out there than this. And that was when somebody sent me an email about this business. So it's quite spooky. It really does make the hair stand up on the back of my arms. But again, who do you know that's feeling like that? Stuck, frustrated, hamster on a wheel, maybe in their 40s and thinking that they have no hope, they have no choice. Like, that's just life, but it's not. So for things to change in life, you have to be prepared to change some things. And that's a big quote to write down as well. So when UW came along, first of all, I thought it was a scam. I thought it looked too good to be true. I thought, how can it be that easy? How many people look at it and think it looks easy until they actually have to take a step? How can it be that easy? But anyway, I got started and I decided to give it a go. And then I always say within the first week, I decided to make a go of it. And that's very different. You might be on this call today and still be giving it a go. And I hope that today you decide to make a go of it, all right? Because it is two completely different things. And I got to work. And I got to TL in about 4 months, STL in 18 months, GL in 4 years. Now, I'm not saying that's the fastest. People are doing it now in 4 minutes, aren't they? It's like the 4-minute mile, it's rattling through. But when I look back, I was still working other jobs. I was still a mum, and we had no remote system. So every single one of those appointments, every single one of those recruiting things was pretty much face to face, and driving yourself around. Someone's asking if you can mute. If there is, please put yourselves on mute if you can. I don't want to start trying to fiddle with everything, but if you can, thank you. So definitely not the faster, but what I have done is been super, super consistent. And when I look back over the last 16 years, so I got to SGL in 2018, still before the remote system came in, all of that still before lockdown, which is, it's mad really when you think about it. Got to SGL 1-star in 2024. I'm trying to see who it is that needs to mute.
There's someone unmuted that is
I've just muted Barry.
A lot of stuff.
Let me just mute everyone. There we go. I've muted everybody. Can you still hear me? Put your thumbs up if you can still hear me. I haven't muted myself. That's good. Sorry about that, everyone. I've muted everybody. So certainly not the fastest, but super consistent. So over the last 16 years, I have signed up customers and or partners every single month for 16 years, which is pretty bonkers, especially when you think of all the stuff that's been going on in my life. So I can definitely help people with consistency. Teams now 2,500, and growing fast, growing well. And like I say, what I've managed to do is create an amazing lifestyle. So this year, not saying it to show off, just to inspire you all. I decided at the beginning of this year that life's too short, got to get on with it now. And I'm actually, away 10 times this year, 10 holidays. I'm going on my third one on Monday already. And because they're not holidays, actually. They're deciding to work from different locations around the world, because how fantastic now that we've got this system and you can be anywhere and still be building your team, which is fantastic. So I'm going to start then with these 5 reasons why people really need to be looking at our business now. Now, you know all of this, but how well are you communicating it? How well are you really understanding it? And our job now is not just to share what we have with people, but also to educate them why they need it. All right, it's going to be a little bit deeper than just the normal share. So, and I'm going to give you some reasons why that is true. So firstly, people generally in this country, I believe, are sleepwalking into disaster for many, many reasons. It's going to be doom or gloom, okay, the next 5 minutes, and then I promise I'll pick it back up again. So no one else is coming to save you. What's going on in the world right now and how quickly that has escalated? Who else feels pretty shocked by how quickly and out of our control completely has things affected our economy, and our direct pockets? Literally, within a few weeks of this war and the oil prices going up and doing what they're doing, we're now being told today that the energy prices per household £3,000. Now we know that if energy goes up, food's going to go up, everything's going to go up. They're talking about cancelling long haul flights. They're talking about book your holidays now for the year, because by the middle of the year flights are going to be triple, quadruple what they are now. Lots and lots of stuff which is going to affect absolutely everybody. And no one else is going to come and save you. I'm sorry to say this, but there's a lot of people head in the sand still thinking that the government are going to come and bail them out of things like the energy crisis and all that. Well, they haven't got any money. The country is in a real state. So we need to, like I say, without lecturing or without, being too doom and gloom, just be having conversations with people so that they start to wake up to the fact that everybody needs to start thinking about taking personal control of their finances. All right, so that's sort of number one, everything going up. Number 2, cost of living. A lot of these statistics I'm quoting are from the ONS, Office of National Statistics, but I've just been running and doing a bit of research this week. So food prices have gone up 20% in the last 4 years, just for your average food shop. I mean, that's nuts. And 31% of children in the UK are deemed to be living in poverty today. 31% of children in the UK deemed to be living in poverty. So where their parents just don't have any spare money. That's number 2. Number 3, we know AI and automation is coming, and it's estimated that between 4.4 and 7.9 million jobs are at risk in the UK over the next 3 to 5 years. Now, obviously, AI is going to create some jobs, but only for those people that are specialised and ready to do that. For a lot of the jobs that are being lost are that sort of entry level into the market jobs, hospitality, for example, we know retail, things like that, massive job losses because AI and automation is just taking over. Number 4, overall, I hope you've all got notepad and pen. I forgot to say that at the beginning, but the people I can see are scribbling down, so that's all right. I'm sure you are. Number 4, overall unemployment is at 5.2% in the country at the moment. But in young people, so between 18 and 24-year-olds, it's lying at 17% unemployment. Okay, that's absolutely massive. People are coming out of, university, coming out of whatever education, and just really not able to find a job. The average number of applicants per job in the UK as of today is 72. So for every single job that's advertised, on average, 72 people are applying for one space. And interestingly, 44% of people are looking for flexible or remote. All right, so they want some sort of flexibility in their role as well. And then number 5, big reason, there are more reasons than this. This is just 5 I've picked out for today. But number 5, big reason, I'm sure you're all very aware of this because we talk about this quite a lot, is the pension crisis. So 21% of adults have no private pension at all. And the typical savings or pension pot is way below what's going to be needed for a comfortable retirement. Simply, the ratios of retirees to working adults is increasing. People are living longer. People working, there's less people paying taxes, there's less money going into that pension pot anyway. So the whole thing is becoming very out of balance. So if you are still on this call, or if you know people who are still relying on their pension to allow them to do all those things they've always wanted to do, it isn't happening for very many people at all. So we know that generally people in our business tend to become more interested in the business when they're in their 40s and 50s as they get closer to that time when they know that they're going to need help. But we need to be educating the younger people too. Because imagine if we could get those 18 to 24-year-olds into the business, teach them a system that works, and they start to build up that pension pot at that age. What could that look like for them? Well, they'd be retiring years early, wouldn't they? So we need to be showing them the way and giving them systems. So that, to me, is 5 very fat reasons why we should be speaking to everybody. But as I said, we need to also get better at the educational conversations, not just saying, look what I've got. We need to help people understand why what we've got will help them. So the next bit I'm going through now is 5 reasons that this business is a really good idea and why we need to share and educate as well as we can. So firstly, again, all obvious things, but it might just help you with a bit of, social media content, things like that, the way we've structured it. Number 1, obviously, is upfront money now. So anybody, and including all of you on this call, within the next 30 days, very part-time, if you follow a simple system, could have an extra £1,000 to £3,000, in your bank part-time. Okay, so remember what I said again, because I know some people on here are very new. You're just getting going yourselves. Some people on here are super experienced, and everything in between. So we could all of us, if we chose, have £1,000 to £3,000 in customer bonus in our bank, within the next 30 days, part-time, by following a simple system. But more importantly, we can help lots of new people have the same. Lots of people that don't even know this business exists yet. Imagine what £1,000 extra, how that would help people at the moment. £1,000, in about a month's time, dropping into their bank. It is payday yesterday, wasn't it? So, if you're quick and you get them in now and they get a few customers this week, they could have payday next month. By the way, I know that you all know this because you've probably seen it, but this weekend we probably shouldn't be on this call, and I'm going to keep it short because prices are going up on Monday. I've just done a quote this morning, which I've sent to someone with the new quote system, which is amazing, and considerably cheaper are fixed than their Octopus variable. Okay, so get those quotes in this weekend, just on that point, because we want people to earn this money quickly. Okay, number 2, obviously, of fantastic reasons why people need to join us is, of course, the long-term passive income. The security, the pension pot, the choices, the freedom, everything that brings. And even if that starts at just enough passive income to pay your council tax, and then it grows to be just enough passive income to pay your utility bill, obviously we can get that for free anyway, or some of it. It doesn't matter how that passive income starts, it's us learning to put that into language that people understand. How would it help you if I could show you a recurring income so you never have to worry about your council tax again? And then obviously it grows and grows and grows. Number 3 reason we need to be speaking to people is because of the fact we are so inclusive. Again, with all the division going on in the world and in the country, at the moment, it's pretty horrendous. And one thing I absolutely love about UW is that everybody is welcome. Doesn't matter what colour you are, what age you are, what background you are, what religion you are, what culture you're from. You are welcome to come and join us, and it's an equal playing field. Annette, there's someone else in the waiting room. I know you're busy scribbling your notes down. Thank you. It's a completely equal playing field for everybody. And how many businesses are like that, where there is absolutely, genuinely no prejudice at all against anyone. Everyone has exactly the same opportunity, and that's something that we don't shout about enough. Number 4, community, connection, support and friendships. When we have the local buzz, so I run the Taunton Buzz, and last week at the Taunton Buzz, when you go around the room and you ask everybody, so what do you love most about the business? Do you know how few people say money and how many people say community, friendship, support, connection? And in the world of AI and the ever-changing, crazy world we live in, that is something that is really important to a lot of people. And again, that's something that we should be talking about more. The whole business that we have is about giving people hope. It's about giving people hope, giving people a nicer lifestyle on the way to creating that so that's going to change their lives. And number 5, it's about living life to the full, including all our wonderful incentives. So that the fact that we help people with travel, we help people with lovely days out in the summer, we just bring together and fun and to make sure that they're maximizing their life. So if you put the first 5 doom and gloom things together with the second 5 wonderful things I've just talked about, does that make you feel a bit better about going and sharing our opportunity with people, with posture and with confidence and with belief that we can absolutely flip in, help people, and help people in much bigger ways than we often even think about. Changing people's lives is something that we shouldn't take lightly. But, when I say that this business has completely changed my life, I mean it. I don't know what I'd be doing if I hadn't been introduced to this. I would probably still be mucking out horses. I don't think I'd be feeling as fit and energetic and healthy and excited about life as I am now. I think I'd be wandering around with a very bad back, groaning a lot, feeling exhausted. So we can do that for other people as well. Right. So let's get into 10 ideas then to help you all build your business. Again, I know some of you are going to go, know that, do that. I don't expect you all to necessarily take on board all of these 10. Some of you will already be doing them. Some of you won't like to do them. Whatever the reasons, that's fine. But what I would suggest is that out of the 10, you're probably going to find 2 or 3 that you could focus on a bit more, that you could get skilled up at, that you could learn how to do, that would help you build your business. All right. Now, this isn't groundbreaking. Like I said, this is all practical stuff that you'll have all heard. But are you doing it? That's the point. And if you're not doing it, we're going to talk about that bit in a minute. Okay. So number one, very simple. I've just put down here. Do not be a secret agent. Bearing in mind what I have just said and what we've just talked about for the last 25 minutes, why wouldn't you go and share this with everyone you know? And just put in the chat, just put yes if you have genuinely shared this opportunity with absolutely everybody you know, and then put no if you know you haven't. Let's see who's, oh, look at this. I want to see if anyone says yes. Everyone's saying no. Definitely no. God, no. No way. No. Okay. Interesting, isn't it? Why not? Why haven't we? How interesting. I haven't. I know I haven't. But why haven't we? But anyway, just going to give you a simple little script that might help you. Use it, don't use it. Don't care really. Up to you. You can think of your own. But I would suggest, because of all the things we've just talked about, if ever there was a time to start sharing this properly, the time is now. Okay? So a little script. Again, tweak it, change it, whatever, to suit what you need. But you may or may not know, but I run a business that is helping people in the cost of living crisis. How soon can I show you how it works? As I may be able to help some people you know. If anyone wants to be really clever and type that in the chat, then you can. I'm not going to try because I'll mess everything up. But anyway, I'll say it again. You may or may not know, but I run a business that is helping people in the cost of living crisis. How soon can I show you how it works? As I may be able to help some people you know. Now that little sentence is psychologically very clever for a few reasons. One is, you may or may not know. So people are interested when you start saying that because they want to know things. All right. So people latch on to that because they want to know if they know. People like to know things. If you say you may or may not know, they're like, I know. Do I know? And they'll listen to you. They'll pay attention. Secondly, all you're saying is that you're helping people in the cost of living crisis. Okay, you haven't talked about bills. You haven't talked about how you help them. Now, obviously, we can help them in many different ways. They could be a customer, a connector, a partner, a referrer. You know, there's lots of different ways we could help them. How soon is really key. You're not saying when are you free, because that automatically gives you massive obstacles. And you've only asked to show them because you might be able to help some people they know. It's actually rejection free because you haven't asked if you can. You've asked how soon. You haven't asked if you're going to do anything to them. So you're not trying to sign them up. You're just saying, how soon can I show you how it works? If you like it, use it. Try it. Speak to people. Send it out. Thank you very much. I can't see who that is that's put it in the chat, but thank you. So you try it. Send it out to a bunch of people. See what happens. Speak to people. Say it to people. Do it however you want to. Okay, number 2. This is a simple one. Just be prepared everywhere you go. So have 5. We used to have a great thing where you'd have, if you had trousers on, or if you had pockets, you'd have 5 stones or marbles in one pocket. This is a whole thing we learned on training when I first started. And then through the day, as you spoke to somebody, you moved a marble or a stone from your right pocket to your left pocket. And you had to, every day, have 5 conversations with people. All right. It was as simple as that. But how about just having 5 business cards on you? Okay. Or 5 leaflets or 5 magazines, and just setting yourself a little goal that every day when you're out and about, you're going to have 5 conversations with people and give out 5 pieces of information. Now, obviously, we know the best thing is if you get their number so that you can follow up. Okay. But even if you don't, you will be building your skills, practicing your confidence, and you will be giving out bits of information. Now, it could just be a normal utility warehouse business card. You could get some business cards made yourself with something about the cost of living crisis, something about the income opportunity. Be creative. Okay, what 5 things would you like to give out every day? Obviously, you can buy stuff off the portal, off the Printwell and things like that if you don't want to create your own. But just that little goal of giving out 5 bits of information a day when you're out and about. So it could be to people that are serving you in the shop. It could be to a waitress in a pub. It could be someone you meet at the petrol station. Oh, hang on, petrol station. Who do you think? Do you think every single person in the country at the moment is moaning when they have to go to the petrol station? I've got an electric car, so I'm afraid I'm not going to hang around the petrol stations because that would be weird. But why not? Go when you're filling up your car. Have a card and just simply say to the person next to you, I may be able to help you with this cost of living crisis. You know, now's not the time. We're standing on a forecourt, but here's my number. If you want me to show you how I can help you out, give me a ring and let's arrange a coffee or a chat or whatever. All right. So 5 bits of information a day. Some of you will, some of you won't. Digital business card with QR code. Perfect. Absolutely. You do whatever the way you find it simple. All right. To do that. Okay, number 3, be prepared in your house for when people come to you. So have you got 5 magazines by your door at all times, or somewhere you can quickly put your hand on them? So every delivery driver that comes to your house, the postman, if you have anyone coming to your house trying to sell you anything, any of these subscription box type peoples that come to your house, be prepared. And just give them some information. Again, practice your conversations. You know, is this your dream job? How are you? It's lovely when they come to you in the pouring rain and you're like, oh, would you like to do something where you could stay inside rather than have to be out in the pouring rain delivering parcels? Yes, I bloody would. Right, take a look at this. This is just a little magazine that shows you what I do. You know, have a read. Love to speak to you. But don't just think about the physical people that come to your door as well. Who messages you on a daily basis? What emails do you get that come to you with people trying to sell you things? Or, you know, if you're on LinkedIn or something like that, you quite often get people messaging you, don't you, into your inbox, and they're trying to promote something or sell something. So every single time someone tries to sell to you, why not offer them to take a look at what you've got? That's a very, very simple tit for tat thing that you can do, which will just, if you pay attention to it, and I'm going to talk a bit about manifesting at the end of the day, but if you manifest and believe things are coming to you, you'll be amazed how many of those conversations you can have in a day just by that. All right, just by returning the favor. I always call it returning the favor. They're trying to sell to you, you're going to, and try to serve you with something they believe is going to help you, and you're just doing the same. Okay, you'll give me thumbs up, everyone, if you're keeping up with me and it's all good and I'm ready for me to go on to the next thing. Thank you. Oh, lots of thumbs up. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, number 4 then. This is obviously a massive subject and I could do 3 hours on this subject alone, and I'm going to do a couple of minutes on it. But social media, I'm just going to talk about social media for a minute. I always say in social media that, you know, we have millions of people at our fingertips. So anyone that thinks they're in scarcity in their business and they've got no one to talk to, they just haven't really embraced the fact that we can talk to people all day, every day through our phones. You know, we have got millions of people, as I said, at our fingertips. Bearing in mind what I've just said about the state of the economy, a lot of people that will want to talk to us for sure. So there's a thing going on though, called the trust recession, which you may have heard about. It is basically, since COVID, online businesses went nuts. Lots of people got scammed. Cryptocurrency dodgy schemes and all sorts of things were ripe. And what's happened is people are not as trusting online as they were. So if you're wondering why your posts are not getting the same sort of reach, you know, and you're putting a blatant post out there about saving people money or, you know, helping them make money, and people aren't paying attention, it's because they don't trust you. Sorry to say it, it's as simple as that. They don't trust you. So unless they really know, like, and trust you, you have to work much harder on your personal brand, on your messaging, on what you're saying, and become somebody that is trusted and well thought of and people believe. Saying that, obviously on social media it is about connections. So it's about who can you find, who can you connect with every day. Think about people you know that you're not currently online with. So again, if you meet anybody out and about, you're meeting people, you're building your social network, try and bring them into your online world as much as you can, because then they can see what you do without you having to be so obvious about it. But you are the business. We're going to talk about this again in a minute as well. You know, we've all got the same products, the same services, the same company, the same support, if we're not careful, the same branding, and that's what you want to avoid. People don't go on Facebook, sorry to say this, but they don't go on Facebook to buy gas and electricity. They don't go on Facebook to buy anything. People go on social media to be entertained, to connect, and maybe to be educated. And they do buy, of course they do, because we get sold to very well from some places. But generally speaking, they're not going on there looking to buy. They are going on there looking to connect, though. So it's really important that you learn that you work out your use, and you get much better at how you're promoting yourself online if you want to stand out from the crowd. Obviously, at the moment, yes, gas and electric is going to be really topical. It's going to be really topical. But do you think if every UW partner starts posting about fix your prices today, it's going up on Monday, it ends up just being noise. It's just a load of noise, and people see it everywhere and they don't pay any attention to it. You've got to be more creative than that. And don't be lazy. Private message people with that information. You don't need to just blast it over your social media. Take time to reach out to people personally and say, have you seen the news? Did you know that from July, the average household might be paying $3,000 a year? I can help you. I know we haven't been in touch for ages, but I just wanted to reach out to you because I can help you. All right. So, you'll use your social media to be social, use it to connect with more people, use it to get your message across. But don't think you can just put a post up saying, gas and electric here, come and get it, and then go on with your day and end up getting 59 customers. You're not going to. You're just going to get more and more people just scrolling past your posts and thinking, boring, 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 boring. Sorry if I'm offending anyone. I hope I'm not, but I'm sorry. Okay, number 5. I'm going to talk a little bit about job groups. So I'm going to talk about job groups, but this could be anywhere that you have an opportunity to advertise for partners. So again, be creative, think outside the box. We used to, and I say used to, I don't know why we stopped doing this stuff, but we used to write out little handwritten postcards and stick them up in chip shops and takeaways, on the little notice boards, wherever they are. Supermarkets still have notice boards. Be creative. Where can you get a little poster up about, I'm recruiting part-time, da, 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 da. But talking about job groups on Facebook, again, when I started posting in them years ago, I used to have loads of response. I've recruited loads and loads, hundreds of people through Facebook. But now people don't trust it. So you can't just put a post up and expect to get the same response. But what you can do is find one group that you want to become known in, a local job group that you're allowed to post our business in. Some of them you can, some of them you can't. Check the rules. Just scroll through the group. You'll soon see if you can or you can't. But find one, and then don't just do one really boring, very obvious network marketing post and expect that to work. Go in there and introduce yourself to the group. Post in there as if you're having a conversation. Hi, I'm Celia. I'm a mum to 2. I live locally. And 16 years ago, I started building a business from home. This is what I do. This is what I'm looking for. And don't be scared to put the name in there. If people ask you the company, put the name in there. Don't hide, because that's immediately when they lose trust. Okay, remember, we want people to trust us. So you need to come across on those groups, authentic, real. Give examples of, somebody that you've recently helped, what background they came from. So all of that stuff that we sometimes post on our main feed about recognition posts, about people that in the team that have done well, you can put that into a job group. Absolutely, you can. Now, the other thing you can do a job group, this is all point number 5, quite a big point, is you can also say you go into a job group and there's 3,000 members in there. Why not just send a direct message to some of the members? You could do 5 a day, 4 a day, 3 a day, whatever you want to do. Put a direct message in there and said, hi, Annette, we're both in the Taunton job group. Notice you're in the same group as me, or you're in the Taunton job group. Just out of interest, are you looking for work at the moment, or are you looking for people? All right, really simple message. So Annette, the reason I've messaged her is because we're in the same job group. That's fine. And I've asked her a question. Is she looking for people, or is she looking for work? Now, one of 3 things will happen. You'll be ignored. She'll say, I'm looking for people, or she'll say, I'm looking for work. Okay, and then you pick up the conversation from there. So are you seeing how there are a lot of people that you can get in touch with every day, even if you don't want to go to your friends and family and all of that, although why wouldn't you? Okay, as I said, there's millions of people at your fingertips. Okay, number 6. Small business owners. So anybody that runs a small business or a pub or a cafe or any type of business. Remember, connectors, partners. Okay, they could be connectors or partners, and a really simple script to them. Obviously, if you know them, go and have a conversation. Otherwise, excuse the unusual approach, but would you be open to an extra income stream if it didn't affect what you're currently doing? All right, so excuse the unusual approach, but would you be open to an extra income stream if it didn't affect what you're currently doing? Simple as that. Again, that can be said on the phone, that can be sent in a text, that could be emailed, whatever you want. You could just go in and ask them. Okay, number 7, LinkedIn strategy. Who's on LinkedIn? Just pop in the chat if you're already using LinkedIn to recruit. Yes, Becky said yes, Rachel yes, Alan yes, loads of people, brilliant. On it, me, yes, no, okay, yes, okay, fine. First thing about LinkedIn, I would say, is make sure that your personal profile and the about you is really good. All right, so when people click on you, they can find out who you are, what you do, and have an understanding what you're about. If anyone wants to have a look at mine, I did get some professional advice from my sister, who's a professional LinkedIn trainer. So, and you know, she does some really good training on it as well. But just briefly today, because we're only doing a quick bit about this. So make sure your profile's up to speed. Make sure your about page is good. The great thing about LinkedIn is you can search for particular categories of people that you're looking for. So Kathy, I know you're in the academy, and we will do a session on it in there, so I can teach you how to use it. But so you can search for relevant people. So let's say you decide that you are going to build a team full of graphic designers because they are being shrunk out of the market with AI, basically. So that's just a good example. So, you know, you don't need a graphic designer now to design a logo. I mean, they're still going to be much better than AI, but lots of people now are going to AI for things like that. And therefore, graphic designers, marketing people are, in some cases, struggling with work. So I could decide that I'm going to go onto LinkedIn for all of the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to connect with 10 graphic designers every day. And then I'm going to put a post up on my LinkedIn every day with a relevant story as to why a graphic designer might want to connect with me. Not really obvious, just subtle stories, using some of the content that we've just talked about, going back to those 5 things that's happening in the world and talk about them. Talk about them. You don't always even have to say that you've got a solution, because what will people do is they'll click onto your profile and then they should see that you've got a solution when they start looking you up, because you're putting in interesting content. Could be graphic designers, could be anyone in marketing, could be teachers, could be NHS workers, could be policemen, could be whoever you decide you want to work with. And that's another thing that I haven't mentioned, but you know, with this whole social media stuff and your content, you need to know who you want to recruit. Who are you talking to? You know, I love working with mums, you know, that want to around their children. So often when I'm posting, I will talk about being a mum and the flexibility that the business gives me. And how, you know, I joined because I didn't want to put the kids in nursery and all of that. I wanted to be able to work from home. I wanted to be around the kids. All of that, such great story stuff. Okay, right. So that's 7 ways of recruiting, finding people, etc. We're going to talk a little bit now. Only got 3 more points to cover because we haven't got loads of time today. I think I'm going to get it done in an hour, which I'm quite chuffed about, because then we can all get in the sunshine. Anyway, point number 8, I want to talk about new partners. Getting new partners started. Who would love the magic pill of how to get a new partner started and not have so many people quitting? Put in the chat. I haven't got it, but I'm going to talk a bit about it. Amazing. Wouldn't that be absolutely amazing if we could? Yeah, how much? Yeah, I'll send it to you. Okay. Me, yes, please. Wow. Okay. I haven't got it, but I'm going to talk a bit about it because I've got some theories around it, which might help. So you bring in a new partner. And particularly if you don't know them. Now, some of the ways, and obviously if you're going to go to a friend, a family member, someone that's watched your journey, you're going to have a much better chance because they are going to believe you, trust you, and all of that a lot more. But let's just talk about the scenario where you recruit by some of these ways we've talked about today, where you might not know the person. They may have just gone on your profile. You may have had a few conversations, but they don't really know you. And you, therefore, don't know them. And then we plug them all into the system and we expect them all to get started. Or we hope I think it's more of a hope than expect. We hope that they're going to get started. But we don't really understand where they're coming from often. We all know about the comfort zone, yes? You've all heard about the comfort zone and how you're in your comfort zone and you'll do things comfortably because that's what a comfort zone is all about. However, most people are very uncomfortable if they stay in their comfort zone because you're never actually getting what you want. But just outside the comfort zone, there's what we call a stretch zone. Okay, so your stretch zone is where you're starting to do things that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. But that's okay because you stretch, you learn, you grow, and suddenly your stretch zone becomes your comfort zone. And then you stretch it again. But outside of your stretch zone is something I call the freak out zone. Okay, now the freak out zone is where you freak out and it puts you into fear. And if you're in fear, you don't do anything. All right, fear paralyzes people. Now, I've got a theory that sometimes with our new partners that we don't really know and we haven't maybe got to know them yet and we're trying to build rapport and everything else, but we haven't actually asked the question, don't you think sometimes that we put them straight into their freak out zone simply by asking them to go and talk to their friends and their family about this business when they've got no belief, no knowledge, no experience, they don't know anything about it, and we're pushing them into their freak out zone. Yes, the reason you got ghosted afterwards is because they were in their freak out zone. You asked them to do something that made them feel so uncomfortable, they decided not to do it. They would rather stay in their uncomfortable comfort zone, being skint, knackered, working a job they hate, all of those things, than be in their freak out zone. It's incredible, but it's true. So what I want to teach us all, me included, to get much better at is to have those conversations. So I've just recruited Leslie. I'm just picking on Leslie because I can see her. And I say to Leslie, right, Leslie, be honest with me. How does it make you feel sending this message to your friends and family members? How does it make you feel? And, Leslie, you're on mute, but you're welcome to unmute if you want to join in with my role play. It's absolutely fine. If not, I'll just pretend that you can't find the button. But don't worry. Anyway, so Leslie says to me, to be honest, it terrifies me.
Got it. It terrifies me.
Okay.
I'm scared stiff.
Okay, Leslie, do you know what? I know how you feel because I felt exactly the same way when I joined the business. What I actually found was it was much better than you thought. But let's just talk through why it makes you terrified. All right. And then you spend some time with that person, understanding their fears, explaining to them that no one's going to die, explaining to them that actually if they want to get to their goals, as Tracy's rightly said, if you do not find their motivation, you cannot help them. Exactly. So, you've had a conversation or you're going to have a conversation. So, Leslie, why have you joined the business? What do you want to achieve? Blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? You get deep dive into that, but then actually coach her and help her, or say, right, okay, what would make you feel more comfortable? Is there someone that you could reach out to, or is there a way of reaching out? I mean, we've just gone through a load of different ways, haven't we, that people could reach out and start. So don't necessarily force them. We know what they should do to build their business correctly. And those that are willing to do get off or can get off to an absolute flying start. We know that. But just be prepared to have better conversations, I think, with the new person. Now, the other thing is, obviously, there's loads to this. Do make sure that you've got a system to plug them into, but also recruit off their list as soon as possible. Go through their list properly with them. Talk to them about the people on their list and say, who would you love to have in your team? Who out of your list would you really love to work with? Let's give them a ring. And you ring them. Get them to introduce you, and then you ring them and have a chat with them. Help them get off the starting block much more. When people are being ghosted, it's 100% because that person's uncomfortable. And sadly, once they've had that horrible, uncomfortable feeling, or they've actually done it, they've done it, they've gone and spoken to someone, and then that person's been horrible to them or given them a horrible response or anything. So we need to prepare them for that as well. right? The worst thing that might happen, Leslie, is they might be quite negative. They might not understand the business model. They certainly won't have seen what you see, okay? And they might think that you've joined some sort of weird cult and they want to protect you, okay? That's the worst thing that's going to happen. Yeah, with my monkeys, absolutely, Amanda. So just be prepared, people, to help your people. Now, obviously, if we recruit the right people, is there such a thing? I don't know. But, if you recruit people that are more confident, outgoing, you're going to have an easier start. But you'd be amazed how people can look like that, but actually they're not. When they start taking the actions, they are still full of fear. Okay, number 9, same sort of subject, but just have a really clear and simple onboarding system. Make sure you know that they're getting a really good welcome call from somebody, the new partner. Do things step by step to avoid overwhelm. Don't overwhelm them with too much information. The first step is obviously the online training. The second step is the fast start, as quickly as you can, having lots of conversations along the way. But the most important step is getting that first appointment in the diary. That's the most important thing, is getting the first appointment in the diary as soon as possible and helping them do that. And then obviously helping them earn money. But break it right down. Okay, and then number 10, it's about building a culture within your team of recruiting, welcoming, supporting, and making it the normal for QD Star to happen within that first 30 days. Justin, whoever was on that call the other night, talking about active partners in your business, that's a good metric to look at. So if you click on my team, my business, my team, your name, go to the top right little symbol, that's group performance, scroll right down to the bottom and look at how many active members you've got of your team. And if that's not enough, you know what to do. Reach out to everybody, call a couple of people a day that are in your team, particularly now. Everything we've just covered in the last 50 minutes is what you could be talking to a new team member about. An old team member, an inactive team member. Talk to them about the environment, the economy, the war. Talk to them about what's going on. Talk to them how we're helping people. And then give them some ideas of how they can build their business to start with in their comfort zone. Find something out of those 7 points that we did that they feel they could do. Do you know what? Most people would send a Facebook message to a random if you taught them how to do it. It doesn't matter what they do. It's about them taking some sort of action and helping them get back into action and activity and then helping them have some success. But you have to find something they're happy to do. Don't force them to do stuff that they don't want to do. And unless their why is so strong, of course, they'll do it. But that's a process. Who, when they very first joined, I think I probably could say yes to this, but when you very first joined, was your goal so strong that you were immediately willing to jump in and do whatever it was that made you uncomfortable? Be honest in the chat. Just say yes if that was you. It was me, actually. I would say yes because I was prepared, because I knew I had to change some things. But I think for most people, it's no. Karina said yes. Brilliant. Yeah. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. There's a bit of a mix there, reasonably. But I think most of us, a lot of people join because they can see it's a good idea before they've really thought about what they actually want. They see it's a good idea. They think, yeah, that looks like a good idea, that you can get some residual income. Yeah, that's good. I think I'll give that a go for a tenner. And they haven't really thought about what it can actually provide at all. Okay, so that's my top 10 for today. There are loads and loads and loads and loads more, but that was just 10 to help you. I hope that's helped. I hope that you think that that's been useful. So the reality is we've talked a lot about the why people should be doing this and the why you should be doing this. We've talked a lot about what to do, but I know there's still a lot of people that will still find some of those things difficult because, as I said, we all have the same tools. We all have the same business model. We all have the same company backing us. We all have the same support, or maybe that changes a little bit depending on what team you're in and stuff. But the most important part of your business is you. So you need to learn to stand out, but also some people find this business easy. Some people find it difficult. That all comes down to what's going on in your head. 80% of success in this business is mindset. 20% is skill. So you've got to work out what is stopping you. If anything is stopping you from being more successful, from having what you want, from taking those actions we've talked about, work out what it is. Is it fear of failure? You know, are you afraid that you might do all of the things, but still not succeed? Yeah, someone's there saying about health. Is it fear of rejection? We hate rejection. People hate being rejected because we think that being rejected is dangerous, because in the olden tribal days, being rejected, you could get killed. You could get eaten by a wolf, all right, or a bear. But now you don't. In fact, standing out from the crowd now is more likely to protect you than it is to kill you, all right? But that's a real fear. Fear of success. Some people are scared of the team growing too quickly. How am I going to manage it? You know, how can I'm not a leader yet. I don't really want to build my business. That can hold people back. Procrastination, overwhelm, usually lack of systems, lack of strategies, lack of know what to do on a daily basis. There's so many things you could do. Your head's just scrambled and it's like spaghetti marketing. You're just chucking everything everywhere and hoping something will land because you've got no processes. So I know that all of you absolutely can do this thing, all right? Because we all can, you know, but you've got to be prepared to figure out why you're not doing it now and to figure out how you can do it. So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes now just talking about something that I put together, because I was very aware that there was a lot of people not really realizing their potential in this business because of so many mind monkeys and so many limiting beliefs and lack of knowledge on social media and lack of strategy, you know, lots of reasons that we don't always really teach or sort of own up to, I would say. So I put together something called the Unstoppable Academy, and we've just finished the first group of people that have gone through it. Some of them are on here today, smiling at me. A couple of them I can see. And what this was about, it was about actually breaking it all down. So I've come up with 5, in fact, there's going to be 6 in the next course, 6 key pillars that are really needed to grow a really solid business in our industry. And that is things like your vision, your goals. What do you really want? There's a lot of it about you, your identity, your core values. Are you totally in alignment with the business? Is your purpose the thing that's getting you out of bed every morning and driving you to do the things that you want to do? Because if it is, it becomes easy. It's about getting rid of all those limiting beliefs and working out why they're stopping you. Visibility. How visible are you? Are you building on your personal brand? Are you building trust with your audience, you know, your social media audience? Are you doing that? Have you got systems in place so you can scale things up quickly? And looking at leadership as well. You know, what does leadership mean? And all the different types of leadership as well. So it's a 6-week course. I've only got 7 places left on the one that's starting on April the 2nd. So I just wanted to let you all know about it, because if you are at that stage where you're thinking, I really want this now, I know now is absolutely the right time to build my business, but you know, I know that I'm the person that's getting in my own way, or I'm just fed up with doing all the things and not getting the results, or I just need somebody to help me with my structure on a daily basis, get my daily method of operation into place and work out exactly what I need to do. All right, so it could be any of those things. So you'll all get an email about that anyway. And if you've got any questions about that, then obviously please shout. And I'm very, very happy to answer any questions at all. I've just put the link to that in the chat. But for all of you that have been on here today, the most important thing really is that you take at least 3, as I said, of the ideas that we've gone through today, at least 3. You might decide to have a go at all of them, which would be amazing. But really become a master at it. Work out what part of the business that you really enjoy doing. You know, there's so many different ways, isn't there, that we can build our business. Some of you love being out and about. You love doing your 20Ks and your events, you know, and your recruitment fairs and things like that. Some of you love doing neighbour letters. Fair play to you. I don't like doing neighbour letters. I don't mind missing it, but some of you love doing neighbour letters. So, you know, whatever it is that you do, but just get really good at it, because ultimately you need to get as many eyes on your business every single day as you possibly can, in whatever way you can. Use the tools. All right, absolutely use the tools, because they are there to help you, and they're there to help you get eyes on your business. Lots and lots of people looking at your business every single day in a really simple way. Get an accountability buddy. or a team of you together, a group of you that are all working towards the same level, maybe all in different teams. So you've got no monetary incentive with each other, but absolutely work together. And 100% focus on whatever it is your next step is. Make sure you know where you're going and absolutely where your next step is. Right, I'm going to come out of this spotlight thing. Oh, look at all these faces. I couldn't see you all before. And you're all still awake and everything. That's amazing. Right, before I wrap up, we are literally 3 minutes before 12, which is pretty amazing. So has anybody got any questions at all or anything that they want to share or ask? Please do. If you want to ask or share, you can either stick it in the chat. Oh, thank you, everyone. My lovely people in the Academy all putting lovely stuff in there. Thank you. Some people are coming back in again. Annette, yes, go on. Annette, did you want to say something? And then Emma, thank you.
You know, like you said about having conversation to people about what's going on and what you said earlier. The question I had was, some people who know that you're a partner with a utility warehouse and have been, you know, they don't actually know, but they've got this perceived idea. They think you're selling gas and electricity and that thing. So they like, you know, they're pushing you away. I suppose I'm answering my own question now. I suppose it doesn't really matter what they say, is it? It's just that asking them again, look, take a look, then it's up to you. You actually then know what I do, because until you know what I do, then say no. I don't know. That's what I was asking about, managing those sort of people.
And what I do sometimes, Annette, in that situation is I actually apologise to people, and I would say something like, Annette, I know that you think you know what I do because I've been really bad at explaining it to you, but I would love to have a coffee and show you properly what I do, because I think you'd be astonished at how many people I could help.
God, you're fabulous,
Thank you. That's all right. Thank you. Emma, did you want to ask something? Hello. How are you?
Thank you, Celia. Yes, I would. Lovely. And first of all, great session. Brilliant. Got paid. Yeah, no, what I was going to ask is, obviously you've been in this business for a little while. What was your sort of light bulb moment when you thought, I've got something really amazing here? Because I think when we all start to get customers, especially if we're in the early stages, you start to get a few customers, you start to get a few partners, you suddenly go, wow, I really know this works. What was your sort of light bulb moment, as it were?
Okay, that's a great question. And I have to say, for me, it happened very, very, very early on. Because I think I was manifesting this to work. I forgot to talk about manifesting just then, by the way. In the Academy, I teach my 7 steps of manifesting, which is brilliant. But anyway, I think I was so determined that this was going to work that I chose to believe the trainers at the front of the room in my getting started training, you know, because that's a top tip though, because we were in the classroom, weren't we, back then, and it was completely different.
Good point. Yes.
You know, that whole connection and trust and all of that stuff for us that joined before lockdown was so much easier for us to believe, because we were in the classroom surrounded by real people who had walked the walk and, you know, talked the talk and done the journey. So I absorbed myself in that situation, and I went to a lot of early trainings. I stalked Jimmy Chapman and drove around the country to every single recruitment masterclass I could get my hands on, because I had decided that this was going to change my life, and therefore I went all in right from day one. So I had to make it work. That was just my mentally. Because I'd decided it was going to be the thing that changed my life, I had to make it work, and I was extremely determined. That made it very difficult for me to understand partners that didn't in the beginning. It took me years to be able to get over the fact that I just couldn't understand. Tracy said I did her training in 2020. I didn't understand why people just didn't get it. I didn't understand why people wouldn't commit. I didn't understand why people were so flaky. I didn't understand so many things that I've learned to understand so that I can help people more, because I think I was a little bit unique. I'm going to be honest. I just think I built businesses, you know, in the horse world. Horsey people are pretty bloody tough as well. You know, I was very resilient, and I just was like, I'm going to do this. But that didn't necessarily help me build it fast, because I couldn't understand why everyone else didn't.
No, that's great. Okay, thank you.
But I borrowed their belief massively, which is what I teach to people now. You know, so borrow someone's belief, borrow my belief. I've got enough belief for, you know, thousands of people that this works. So
Yeah.
Tell people to do that. And it's about buddying them up, isn't it? And that's why the stories are so important. You know, the stories that we share, and on your social media, it's got to be authentic. It's got to be sharing stories. You can't just tell people they're going to make $2,000 in the next 30 days. They don't believe you.
No.
I hope that's helped, Emma. It probably didn't.
It has. Thank you. No, brilliant. Thank you.
Has anyone else got anything they'd like to ask? If not, thank you for coming along this morning and spending an hour out of the sunshine with me, because I've really enjoyed it. This, obviously, I'm going to get this recording out to you all pretty quick. You'll all had an email probably about now as well about the Academy that I was just emailed out to everyone. But I'll send the recording out as well this afternoon. And please feel free, if you think the recording is going to be helpful, you know, to any of your team or anyone that's not here or whatever, then please feel free to share it. If anyone's got any questions, if anyone wants to jump on a call or just wants some help with anything, then please get in touch, because I will do my utmost to help all of you. And I assume I'm going to see you all at Power Up. Yes, it's not long now, is it? So looking forward to that. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm off to Turkey on Monday, and I'm really a bit disappointed because it looks like it's going to rain all week where I'm going in Turkey. So I probably end up working all week instead of sitting in the sun. That's not much fun. But anyway, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for giving up your time. And I look forward to seeing some of you in the Academy and lots of you at Power Up. So see you all soon. All right, take care. Bye.